Hi guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be giving you the rundown on what Colourpop eyeshadows are good and which ones aren't, basically. In our opinion, Colourpop is one of the most overhyped eyeshadow brands on the market. So we just wanted to provide a little bit of clarity on what's good and what's not. So if you're interested to see what we think is the best and the worst, then just keep on watching. So first of all, I want to mention we have a plethora of Colourpop palettes, but none of them are in their packaging other than two of them. So we'll just have to insert pictures on the screen. It's depotted into our giant magnetic palette, and we've hit pan on a lot of the shadows. So we know Colourpop shadows. We do. Trust us on that. So the two that we don't have depotted are the Smoke Show palette, or the Blowing Smoke palette now, and the At Forest Sight, the Raw Beauty Christie collab. This one here. So both of these, I like these formulas. These are really good. As far as like deep colorful mattes from Colourpop go, this is probably one of the best ones I've tried from them. So for example, let me tell you which ones I don't like. The Just My Luck palette, garbage, not good. The greens in there are just horrifying. The only thing that was redeemable about that palette was the middle shimmer called Mary Jane. Everything other than that was the same deepish forest green. It wasn't a good formula. It got really patchy. It was very pressed pigment-esque, so I don't know. I didn't have good luck with that one, and which is funny considering the title of it, Just My Luck. I would not recommend that. Both of these though I do really like. I think the shimmers in this one are like stupendous. These are one of the some of the best Colourpop shimmers, I think. And then these, I don't love the shimmers in the At Forest Sight palette, mainly because they're just not as intense as I love, and they're not colors that I love. I do like what the hell are you called? Evergreen more than I like the yellow gold shade. West Coast, I don't like West Coast because I don't like yellow golds, but the formula on it is fine. It's just not as textured as some others that I like. So a palette from Colourpop that I really tried to love, and I'm getting better at using some like pressed pigment-esque type shadows, like what remind me of like the James Charles palette from Morphe. I don't have that anymore because frankly I hated it. But like the Colourpop Blue Moon palette, are you kidding? That is the prettiest palette I've ever seen in my life. The shadows, I hate them. They're so patchy. Oh, I love them. They're so much worse than Just My Luck in my opinion. Oh, I have good luck with those. I do not. That's funny. The deep blues do not stick to my eyeballs even in the slightest. I like tap my brush and they're like poof, gone. Poof, gone. Let me leave a patch for you to come back with later. Try and pack a matte black on there and fix it. I cannot stand it. I think the shimmers are really pretty, and I think it is a workable palette. I just don't think it's the easiest formula. It's definitely not the easiest formula, but I love the colors in that one so much. They're so bright and so vibrant, and I don't think I would say rich, because they are so powdery that I just don't find the shadows to be very rich. But I think that in terms of like Colourpop palettes, like color story, uniqueness kind of, Blue Moon is my favorite because I love a good bright blue. Yeah. And that one is full of them. But I feel like this is just a Colourpop slander video. I had a couple people on Twitter recommend me the Bye Bye Birdie palette from Colourpop, and it looked so pretty. The shimmers in it are gorgeous. They're very fun. God damn, that is a horrifying palette. That's a horrible palette. The mattes in there are not good, but they have the shimmers in there are so good though. That's the problem. That's where my loyalties lie, are the shimmers in that palette, because some of them are like actual super shocks, and the other ones are just like, they're just a really good metallic. But yeah, the mattes in there were terrible, and I found that the color selection of mattes was very weird. Like it was all these like mauve cool tone kind of purples, and then they're like warm toned shimmers. Yeah. It was peaches. Just very bizarre. The mattes in there just didn't make sense to me. It had a pressed glitter in it, maybe two. The lightest pressed glitter is really pretty. The darkest one I don't like at all. But that palette, I had such high hopes for it. I thought it was so pretty, and then I kept trying to use it, and I'm like, God, I hate this shit. Just was not working. But the shimmers are very pretty, so if you want to waste your money on some of the mattes, then I mean, by all means. But I wouldn't recommend it as a whole, especially when you can buy super shocks individually. So I mean, we might as well throw that in there. I love Colourpop super shocks, most of them. I don't like the ones from the Raw Beauty Christie collab. well, don't like is kind of strong. They're just okay. They don't stick out to me. I can see myself decluttering a few of them for sure. But I love Slave to Pink, Fizz, Roy G. Biv, Frog, and what's this one called? Ladybird. I love those. They have more texture, they have more shine to them. They're just all around better, in my opinion, than the ones from the Raw Beauty Christie collab. But sometimes you have to let them dry out a little, because when they're fresh and brand new, they're just not as like glittery. You just get the balminess of the shadow. So we're gonna let those dry out a while and see how they go. Because I like the idea of the colors that are there, but when I used them, I was like, this is not special in any way. Yeah. Well, so boring. Let's talk about the things that I do like from Colourpop. I love the It's My Pleasure palette. I know some people have issues with those mattes. I personally didn't. I really like them. Yeah. Okay. I love it, and I love the shimmers in there. Like, they are some of the best Colourpop shimmers, I think, that they have in like their prepackaged palettes. They have like lots of texture to them. I have a picture, I'll have Rachel insert it on the screen, but I had like a no foundation look on, and I used the Colourpop It's My Pleasure palette for the purple shade that I was working on in my Project Pan. I can't remember what it was called, but it's like a purple with blue glitter in it, and it just, oh, it shines so beautifully. It's, oh, just thinking about it. I love that one. I know the pink one. Yeah, the Ooh La La palette. Ooh La La. I do like that one. The only thing I didn't like is that it lacks a lot of depth, but the hot pinks in there are really good. The shimmers are nice. The funny thing about that one is it has a couple of like satinish, like satin metallics kind of, and I actually really like them. They're kind of crease shimmers, but they're also fun enough to be standalone shimmers on the lid, which I really like the versatility in that. It's not quite a satin and not quite a metallic. It was somewhere in the middle. Not a shimmer either. I don't know how to explain it. It was just, it's kind of bizarre, but they were really, really beautiful. I can't remember what the shade exactly is, but I'll circle it if I can. Yeah, it's so pretty. Love it. Love, 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 love. I would say personally my favorite Colourpop palette that I've ever tried, blew my socks off, continued to use it, was the Through My Eyes palette, the collab with I Love Saragi, and her little, the collab previously, that little 5-pan. Oh, 5-pan, yeah, that little like the purple and the icy pink shade. Yes, that was such a staple neutral palette in my life for such a long time. When they had their old like cardboard flip up kind of packaging, the rollback, dude. Yeah, I want that palette back. Let's see. But yeah, that Through My Eyes palette, that freaking green shimmer. They pop a green to me, I know. I do not give a shit. Oh yeah, that was like so pretty or something. I think so. Oh my god, I saw Make Me Up Miss. I do a look with it, and I was like, oh, I have to do that, and I did it, and I was like, holy shit, it looked so good. I literally loved that palette to pieces. We have pan in like most of the shades from that palette. Charlotte did get into it once or twice when we didn't have a standalone makeup. If we can find those pictures, we should put them on the screen. I have them. They were so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, she got into it and like ate it, and she had like a shimmer mouth, and it was really cute. Also traumatizing. The other one, we had the So Jaded palette as well. That one I liked. It's nice. It's good. That's about all I feel about it. Yeah, I liked it. I didn't really have any trouble with the mattes getting patchy or anything. The quality which I typically do. The quality was good, but I just found that I couldn't. There's so many shadows in that palette, but I still couldn't come up with a lot of fun looks. I think because a lot of them, some of them were bright and some of them were neutral, and a lot of them were like mid-tone kind of like bright versus neutral. And I just struggle with those shades. Like, I either want to do a neutral look or a bright look. It's hard for me to do like muted color very easily. And I feel like that palette just didn't lay it out in the most appealing way. But the quality of those shadows, like even the deep like greens in there, are a lot better than the ones from the Just My Luck palette. So yeah. I don't know what went wrong with the Just My Luck palette, but definitely So Jaded has better greens in it. And it also has a couple of Super Shocks, which I like when they add those into palettes. It's really nice that way. Me too. We had the Dream Street palette, which I loved for a long time. We just stopped using it, but I really loved that one. It's hard for me to say I recommend it now, just because I haven't tried it in so long. I don't know how I would like it now. But our perception of shadow quality was a little bit different back then, because we hadn't tried anything that we've tried now. Yeah. We didn't get sucked down the vortex of $100 eyeshadow palettes quite yet.
No. Ooh, you know what? We did have the Bretman Rock collab, the blue one.
Did we?
Yeah. And we decluttered it like after a while because I used it once and never again, but I loved it when I used it once. Oh, what was it called? Like the icy palette or something?
It was like Fire
and Ice or something like that. I don't know. I didn't have the fire one. I had the ice one, the blue one.
I do not remember owning that.
Oh my god, you don't?
No,
yeah, there's in one of our old eyeshadow palette videos, we talk about that one because we had our like, you know, that Jaclyn Hill brush holder thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had all of our mini palettes in there.
Oh.
Yeah. And we only used it once, I think, once or twice, because we always went for the same look and we never do the same look twice pretty much. So we didn't use it very often because of that, but oh, it was beautiful.
I do not remember owning that.
Oh my god, I'll have to pull up the video and show you. We owned it. What? Is that all that we've had from Colourpop?
I know we've had more, like, earlier on.
Probably.
Oh, we had, like, the one that's a dupe for the Sunrise palette, or the Sunset palette.
Oh, the Yes Please palette? I never liked that. Yeah.
That was horrible.
It got really patchy on me and it didn't build at all. Then again, I probably was building it too much, to be fair, but I didn't like that one, so I wouldn't recommend that one. I wouldn't recommend the Sunrise palette either, to be completely honest. So.
Yeah, but that's just those aren't our tones.
Not my
tones.
And
that's why, because I got it on a Black Friday sale last year, I think, and we've already decluttered it because, you know, we love a good Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette, but I had used it once for a video, and I had not even thought about using it a second time.
Yeah, I used it once, and I liked the look that I got out of it, but I also paired it with like a hot pink, which I thought worked really well with the tones. It's beautiful. It's just not something I'm ever going to wear, so we were like, oh, let's get rid of it before we're in too deep here. We knew too, before we even started playing in that, we were like, we should probably donate or like give this away to somebody. Yeah. And we were like, no, let's try it out once because we're fools. But I think that's all as far as what we own for Colourpop eyeshadows.
And what we feel about them. It's kind of crazy how much we've owned, but how little we like Colourpop now.
Yet they suck me in every time. They don't suck me in. I love the look of everything that not everything, but whenever they come out with something that I do want, it's like a powerful yearning, even though I'm never sure if I'm going to like the formula. But I loved, you know what I did love? The Jelly Much shadows, except that they dried out so fast and they weren't able to be rehydrated. But what was the, hallucinogenius, I don't know.
I've never heard of that name.
It was the hot pink.
I don't think that was the name.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Well, we won't know.
Whatever. But I liked those. They just dried out really fast, but they were stunning.
They were very pretty.
I've considered picking them up again because they were that beautiful.
Just waste my money and use it twice.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but I could use it for a lot. I bought Inglot Duraline specifically to rehydrate those, and nothing really worked. Duraline worked the most, but nothing got them quite back to their jelly state. And I put the cap on tight and all that jazz, so it was just a tragedy, but you live and you learn.
Well, I just would like to say that we are, in fact, a Colourpop slander channel. For anybody new here, I miss loving Colourpop.
I do. I miss the good old days.
I miss those days where I bought like every Colourpop release and I could go spend like $400 on the website. Why is my boyfriend so loud? And we did like a full face of Colourpop and all this stuff.
Oh,
and
I forgot about the full face of Colourpop.
I'm just not really into Colourpop like that. I really want to be, but I don't really like most of their complexion products. I always get a shade that's like really weird for me because I can't really check.
Let's be careful here. The Pretty Fresh Tinted Moisturizer is life changing.
That's good. That is good.
I want to buy it again.
I will buy it again, just not yet. Yeah. But like overall, Colourpop stuff has been very like hit and miss and hit and miss and hit and miss. Like, I mean, we used up a bronzer from them. Their powder blushes are like fine, I guess.
It's not that it's normal for us to get a brand and not like every single thing that they come out with, but when it's so many inconsistencies in the same types of products, like eyeshadow inconsistencies, that's where I kind of get a little annoyed, because then it's like, I don't want to buy this if I don't even know if I'm going to like it or not. Like, for real, I don't know if I'm going to like this formula.
Well, normally it's kind of like, you know, oh, if I want to buy the new Natasha palette or whatever, I know the formula is going to be good because her last formula is good, and the formula before that was good,
and even the formulas that had bad reviews we like. So
yeah, so I just want some consistency in my life. I do. But I'm sorry for the Colourpop slander. I did want to mention, because I have it in a video, I, like a snake, befriended Kiki G. No, I'm just kidding. She was talking about the Vampire Diaries on Instagram, and so I started commenting snarky shit to her, and we became friends, and she sent us all of the Salt New York Cream Tint Pros that have ever existed. So we have all the blushes, all the bronzers and all the highlights. Some of the deeper ones or repeats we have in a different magnetic palette, just because we're not going to use something that's meant for deep dark skin.
So if you guys want something more in depth on these, as far as like swatches and things like that,
we can do that after our 25 days of eyeshadow.
After our 25 days of eyeshadow. We just thought it would be nice to mention that. We are incredibly thankful for Kiki for being like that. Rachel literally placed an order and Kiki canceled it and sent us everything. So it's just really, it's really nice.
Well,
she feel loved from her, and we love the company so much.
She told me she would send us everything, and I was like, no, don't do that, because I was like, I feel like I'm like taking advantage of the friendship we created.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I only befriended you because I want to try more of your product. Like, we've been riding hard for these cream tint pros ever since we got them, and I wanted more shades, so that's why I placed an order. But it was just such a nice package, and she left such a funny note in there, and just such a blessing. So I just want to mention that in a video. We mentioned it on our stories on Twitter, but figured YouTube should know too, so we can do some more videos with them in the future.
It's more content.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope to see you in the next one. Bye.